Hello everybody, and welcome to my follow-up to Top 9 Worst Final Bosses. Why am I doing this? Well, I'll get to why in a second, but basically, not one of my best lists. I'll flat out admit that. But I'll get to that shortly. Some of you may be asking, well, Wave, why do you do these? Like, okay, you screwed up, move on with your life. I'm not satisfied, though. When I do these follow-ups, and when I'm completed them, and have everything done and said, I feel a lot more satisfied. Would I do this for every video that gets commentated? No. Top 9 Worst Final Bosses was supposed to be a comeback, like after the last year, and this is what happens. Well, And I also follow this statement. It's easy to criticize others, but it's a lot harder to criticize yourself. As such, I like it when I make these videos. Now, I know that may be annoying to some of you that watch these and think, oh great, he's apologizing again. You know what? At least I have the balls to apologize and say, yeah, I messed up. Alright. So, for the purpose of this, I'm going to be covering each entry and my updated opinion on it, and possibly explain more reasons depending on which entry it is. First off, one of the reasons this list failed, I did not proofread what I said. Some people have said that I say some of the stupidest shit. Yes, I do. I'm not going to deny that. Why do I do this? I don't proofread what I say before I do the video. This is an exception because this is unscripted. But the point is, a lot of my mistakes are made because I don't revise my scripts. I write them down and then done! That's not a good thing. So, yeah, let's just go with this. Before I do, though, I want to thank Newcastle M. Hall for suggesting me to proofread in the future. That helped a lot with Top 7 Homunculi and with the Gardevoir vs. Grumpig video. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Alright, now let's get on with this. Number 9 was Nightmare. Frankly, I'll admit that this quote where I said, the only times I died in this phase was either due to the time limit or me playing hard mode. It's like, yeah, it's hard mode. No shit. But one of the comments that was made about that entry was, Wave, there's no time limit. Yeah, there is. If you play too long, the screen will eventually kill you. It wasn't but to be fair, it wasn't really a relevant problem. The boss could be beaten easily. However, it wasn't satisfying in the first phase. That's what pisses me off. I don't know why, it just bugs me because I played Kirby 64, I played Amazing Mirror, I played Return to Dreamland. They had entertaining bosses. They had good build-up, they had a good story, it had a good atmosphere. Nightmare didn't have that. It came out of nowhere. It's like, for the majority of Nightmare and Dreamland, we know that DDD took the Star Rod and broke the pieces off and gave it to the bosses. Where was this shit about Nightmare? We knew in Kirby 64 that some bad guy was infecting the world with dark matter. I'm not even going to continue on with that. I should have brought more reasonings to it, so I was an idiot. Andross. Yeah, the part about the ending was stupid, and this is the problem with a lot of these entries. I only bring up difficulty. Master TP10 brought that up in his commentary on me. I'll link that in the description if you want to see it. I should have talked a bit more about it because, frankly, his design sucks, the music isn't that great, the build-up is utter shit for how pathetic the boss is, and yeah, the difficulty is one of the features about it, but yeah, because of the difficulty, the build-up also sucks, because this is the guy that took over the Lilat system. How is it that his minions are more threatening than him? General Shepard. Yeah, I have no real reason to put General Shepard in hindsight on the list, because he was entertaining, and I was thinking of something to hate. Number 6, Mother Brain. I got into a discussion with Hyrule Bard over Super Metroid, and the truth is, guys, I only played Super Metroid once before this list, but the truth is, I also played it 2 other times, but those were years ago. The thing is, I completely forgot about that until I remembered, oh yeah, I played this game 3 times, not once, but the last time I played it was once, and that's it. Phase 1. Yeah, I still hate the first phase. It's ridiculously easy, and there's no... It's like, this is pathetic. Then Phase 2. I don't like its design, I don't like the fight, the music sucks ass. But, you know what? There's 2 things that actually piss me off about this fight as well. The shock death of the baby Metroid, which pissed me off, because, like... we were supposed to save the baby Metroid, and it gets errant, basically. It gets killed by the main villain. Whatever, the joke was going to suck anyway, so... regardless. The biggest problem with that is it comes right the hell out of nowhere, and the funny thing is that with cases like this, we're just like, oh my god, that's so sad, but when something like Countdown happens where they kill off people in shock deaths, we're nailing DC to the effing wall. Why? And then there's this part, and this is something that's, even though TP explained this, I still have to say, no, I still have an issue with it. Mother Brain is an organic supercomputer. Yeah, I know, supercomputer, but still organic. It has a bit of a life form. And plus, I don't think that brain's mechanical. So, I don't think you need to learn basic biology to say, yeah, without that brain, you screwed. She wouldn't be able to move. But on the other hand, TP was also right in saying that Mother Brain did lose a ton of health. So there's that. Out of all the bosses I fought in the Metroid series, next to the original, this wasn't that great. I don't know, maybe it was this... like I said, it's probably the shock death, the music, and it's the first phase probably that also bugs me, like I said. Because it was like, wow, they didn't do anything to it. Now some people may say, well, what about Mother Brain and Zero Mission? With Zero Mission's case, that wasn't the final boss. That was Metal Ridley. Yeah, I know, it's Mecha Ridley. Like, does it really matter? It's Metal, Mecha, almost the same thing. Number 5, Omega Shenron / Ultimate Shenron. This one I don't really have any objections against, except for the fact that, yes, that system is freaking irritating. It's not skill-based, it's luck-based. Forgive me, but maybe I'm going to shoot Greenpash, but when I was growing up, fighting games were about skill, not luck. And reaction commands. I freaking hate reaction commands in my fighting games. Pisses me off. Now, some people were asking, well, why would you use Naruto Shippuden 2 as an example? And yeah, Storm 2, whatever. Why was I using that as an example in those cases? Although those were a little bit obnoxious in Storm 2, they weren't picture perfect. If you messed up, like if you didn't click them instantaneously, but you were able to click them all in the time limit, yeah, there's a difference. You would only lose a couple stars. In Ultimate Tenkaichi's case, if you weren't pixel perfect, you were going to take damage. Plus, I think you took a lot more damage in Tenkaichi's story mode than in Storm 2. Plus, I hated the fact that the story sucked, and the freaking plot hole with Ultimate Shenron. Yes, it is the Black Star Dragon Balls, and Ultimate Shenron is more powerful than Shenron. That was the point. Even GT says that, which this game's final boss is from. So I still stand by that. Devil Doom. Yeah, I messed up the definition of ironic. Yeah, I don't get that. And another one that was a mistake was me showing the cutscenes and not summarizing. I really don't have an answer for that. Oh, and for the live and learn thing, I at least tried to tell the jokes. There's that. So Devil Doom, I still freaking hate. The boss fight sucks, the music is awful, the build-up was shit, the revelations were crap. And yeah, Sigma X3. Why did I put this guy on the list? Sigma X3... Sigma was crap in this fight. His attacks were bland. The suspense was kind of killed off by it, and the second phase was a goddamn joke. It was frustrating, uninspired garbage. I know I hate X2, and I said that in the review I did back in December, but X3's final boss just sucks. I had no enjoyment when fighting this boss. It was painful. Now, some people were also quick to bring up, well, X6's final boss isn't any better. Fair enough, I'll admit myself that X6's bosses at the end weren't that great, but X6 had to be at least somewhat better than X3. You know what, it was cheap, but you know what, it had good music. X3 did not, and I know some of you may be saying, well, why are you talking about the music? I thought you were discounting that. Yeah, but then people would say, well, how come you're talking about music here but not in the other segments? So I decided to cut them all out. Most of them, with a couple exceptions, were good. Yeah, I know I misspelled exceptions, sue me. And then there's the number 1 entry, Ganon. I should not have talked about the ending regarding time travel. That was unnecessary, and it was really, really stupid. Okay, what else? The light arrows in the final phase was bullshit. Okay, in phase 1, you had to use the goddamn light arrows. There was no other option, you had to use them. You couldn't beat Ganon without it. Phase 2, you didn't even use the light arrows, you were getting out of the castle. Why does that even count as a phase again? Phase 3, you don't even use them. You use them to blind him. Why? Now, some people may be saying, because I was on a call with a couple of people when I was doing the final boss of this game. It's not just the 3DS port that gave me frustration. It was the original. The 3DS port is easier, and that's sad. But with Ganon's case, yeah, I hate the fact of how many attacks he has, which also kills the atmosphere, because this is supposed to be the king of evil, and yet he's a goddamn pushover. I didn't take any damage from it. I'm expecting a boss with some challenge. The atmosphere is freaking killed off, because really, he could pretty much disable Navi. But he doesn't do that in the rest of the fight. Like, okay, that makes sense. What else? Music isn't too great. Again, it's really hard to talk about things I hate about the boss fights. Like, I could talk about good things about boss fights. I kind of did that with my last final bosses list. It's just hard to think of reasons to hate them aside from difficulty. What else? Yeah, the footage thing. Me using the big Goron sword. Yeah, this is why I've ordered a capture card now, because frankly, if I'm gonna get the footage, I'm gonna get it myself. In that phase, I just used the Megaton Hammer and then just hit him, and that's it. Actually, you don't even need the light arrows, like I said. It doesn't do any damage. You'll just blind him with it. Then you have to use the Megaton Hammer anyway. So, really, what's the point of the Master Sword? It doesn't add additional hit points or anything, like it really matters, because the boss fight is goddamn easy. Hit him a few times, duck under him, the end. It still pisses me off, but you know what? Whatever. Majora's Mask was more along the lines of cheap, but it had good atmosphere to it. Plus, I liked several parts of the boss fight. I can't say the same for Ganon. Now, some of you that have seen the top 9 list may be saying, well, where's number 2? You didn't talk about the number 2 entry. Ladies and gentlemen, next time, you'll see why. So stay tuned for my next countdown. Thank you all for watching.